What makes a psychopath? When you hear the word psychopath, you might think of criminals in movies or stories about dangerous people. But the truth is, the idea of a psychopath is more complicated than that. Not every psychopath is a violent criminal, and not every violent criminal is a psychopath. So what really makes someone a psychopath? What is happening in their brain and emotions that makes them so different from others? Let us take a closer look, using simple terms, to understand the science and psychology behind psychopathy. A psychopath is a person who shows a certain pattern of thoughts, feelings, and behaviors. These patterns are different from what we see in most people. Psychopaths often appear very charming, confident, and intelligent at first. They know how to say the right things and act in ways that make others like them. But behind this mask, they usually lack true empathy, guilt, or love. They might hurt others without feeling bad about it. They often lie, manipulate people, and only care about their own needs. Psychopathy is considered a personality disorder. This means it is a long-lasting way of thinking and behaving that is not healthy or normal. Experts have studied people with psychopathic traits and found that their brains work differently from others. For example, brain scans show that areas involved in emotions, fear, and decision-making, like the amygdala and the prefrontal cortex, are not as active in psychopaths. The amygdala helps people feel emotions like fear, sadness, or compassion. When it does not work well, a person may not feel bad when they hurt someone else. The prefrontal cortex helps people make good choices and control their behavior. If it is weak, a person may take risks or do harmful things without thinking about the consequences. One big sign of psychopathy is a lack of empathy. Empathy means being able to understand how someone else feels and to care about their pain or happiness. Most people feel bad when they see someone crying or hurt. But psychopaths do not feel that way. They might see someone in pain and feel nothing. Some even enjoy seeing others suffer. Because of this, they can do terrible things without feeling guilty or ashamed. Another sign is shallow emotions. Psychopaths might pretend to have feelings, but they are often just acting. They might smile when expected or say, "I love you," but there is no real feeling behind the words. They can lie very easily, and they are often very good at hiding their true thoughts. This makes it hard to know what they are really thinking or feeling. Psychopaths also tend to be very selfish. They care about themselves and their goals, and they do not care who gets hurt in the process. They might use charm and lies to get what they want, whether it is money, power, or control. If someone stands in their way, they might cheat, lie, or even harm them. They do not see others as real people with feelings, but more like tools to be used. So, where do psychopaths come from? Are they born that way, or does something happen to them during life? Most experts agree that it is a mix of both. Some people may be born with a brain that is wired differently. These brain differences can make it harder for them to feel fear or guilt. But life experiences also matter. If a child grows up in a home with abuse, neglect, or violence, they may become more cold and detached. Lack of love and care during childhood can lead to serious problems in how a person sees the world and others. Not all people with psychopathic traits become criminals. Some learn to control their behavior enough to stay out of trouble. In fact, some people with these traits may even be found in business or leadership positions. They may not break the law, but they may still manipulate and harm people emotionally. These are sometimes called successful psychopaths. They hide their dark traits behind a mask of charm and confidence. There is a test that psychologists use to figure out if someone is a psychopath. It is called the psychopathy checklist. It looks at traits like lying, lack of guilt, shallow emotions, and impulsive behavior. A person is given a score based on how many of these traits they show. A high score means the person is more likely to be a psychopath. This test helps experts understand the risk of harm that the person may pose to others or themselves. Even though many psychopaths do not change, that does not mean it is impossible. Some treatments have been tried, like therapy or special programs to help control behavior. But the results are mixed. Psychopaths often do not want help because they do not think anything is wrong with them. They might lie to therapists and pretend to improve, only to go back to their old ways later. This makes treatment very difficult. Still, some young people with psychopathic traits can improve if they get the right kind of help early in life. That is why early care and support are so important. It is also important to remember that psychopathy is not the same as being mentally ill in the usual way. Psychopaths know right from wrong. They are not hearing voices or seeing things that are not real. They simply do not care about the rules or the feelings of others. This makes them especially dangerous because they can plan their actions carefully without feeling regret. Their actions are often cold and calculated, not emotional or out of control. Understanding psychopathy helps us stay aware and protect ourselves. If someone in your life seems very charming at first, but then starts lying, hurting others, or showing no guilt, it is a warning sign. It is important to trust your instincts. Psychopaths can be very convincing, but over time, their true nature shows. The best defense is to stay informed, keep healthy boundaries, and get support if you feel manipulated or harmed by someone with these traits. Not everyone who is selfish or cold is a psychopath. We all have flaws. But when someone consistently shows no empathy, lies often, and hurts others without care, it may be more than just bad behavior. It may be a deeper problem with how their brain and emotions work. Psychopathy is rare, but it has a strong impact on the people around them. Learning about it helps us understand human behavior better and stay safe. If you found this topic interesting and want to learn more about the mind, emotions, and how people behave, please give this video a like and subscribe to the channel. Your support helps us bring you more clear, helpful, and eye-opening content about psychology and human nature. Thank you for watching.